Let's see. Yeah, it looks like we're going live here. Just trying to make sure. YouTube is a little slow. It looks like we're lagging a little bit. So I'm going to try and let YouTube catch up here. Feel free to let me know in the chat if you guys have any questions. I have the chat open here. And we will just hang out for a couple minutes. There we go. And so you guys are aware, I'm just going to be here editing some photos in Lightroom. So anytime you want to chat, ask me some questions, I am down to chat, have some questions, or whatever you guys would like to do. So we're going to go ahead and just keep chilling and editing some things in Lightroom. And I'm going to work on showing you guys a little bit of what I'm doing here in Lightroom. I just have some windows to get situated here, and I gotta get Lightroom booted up again. It loves to crash, but maybe we can figure out some sort of a project here and work on a fun project while we're here. I guess it probably would have helped if I would have planned this out a touch better and actually scheduled this out a little bit longer. But who cares? This is a test. We're just hanging out. And whoever shows up, shows up. And we will see what happens. So like I said, just feel free to drop any questions that you may have in the chat. I am open to answering questions. There is just a touch of lag between the video, what you guys are seeing, and what I'm seeing. So if it takes me just a second to answer your questions, I apologize. It may take me just a second to see them and then reply, and then have the reply show up on the video. So again, thank you guys for stopping by. I am open to any questions. Live chat. There we go. All right, now I have the live chat open, and I can actually see what's happening again. And then I'm going to get Lightroom booted up here in a second. Right now I have Photoshop open. I was doing some logo work and some vectors here in Photoshop. Boring stuff. Making some t-shirts and things like that. Nothing too interesting. Just have a bunch of tabs open. But let's go ahead. Let's quit Photoshop. Let's open up Lightroom. I'll show you guys what I'm doing here in Lightroom. Always some fun things. And again, feel free, drop any questions, and I'm open to answering whatever you would like me to answer. I might go over to Twitter and see if anybody is on Twitter. Let's see. There's not much happening on Twitter. Always some weird stuff trending. All right, well, Lightroom is open. Let's see, what would we like to edit photos of today? I'm going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and plug in a hard drive and see what photos we have that we can edit in Lightroom today. Get my Lightroom window open. Lightroom Classic. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can get Lightroom to work with OBS. Sometimes with the streaming software, it's a little strange. Let's see. All right, it looks like we have Lightroom open. There we go. Here we go. All right, I'm going to show you guys what I am editing in Lightroom. So let's go ahead and I will show you what I have in Lightroom. Maybe I can throw myself in the corner. I think I have like a little picture-in-picture camera. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. What is this? There we go. That's pretty neat. I have a little camera up here in the corner so you guys can actually see what I'm doing up here, and then you can see me. So that's actually pretty cool. I like how that works. Or I can go ahead and just turn my face off. That's actually really cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out, just edit some things here in Lightroom, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. Let's get back to Lightroom. Let's see what we have. I have these old Porsche photos. Let's see, where are my neon sign photos? I have some really cool photos of some neon signs that I was going to edit. But it looks like those may be on a different hard drive. All right. Well, if anybody wants to let me know what you would like to see me edit, what you want to talk about, anything like that, just let me know in the chat and I will respond to you ASAP. All right. Let's see. I really enjoy this Taco Bell photo. This is pretty cool. Let's see what we got. I apologize if it's taking me a little bit to edit some photos. I'm just scrolling through a whole bunch of different tabs and trying to make sure everything here is organized with my little live stream editor. I could probably be doing this on my laptop and then edit with a different device. Just kind of looking at what would be fun to edit. I have some old Rocky Mountain National Park photos. Obviously, these Porsche photos turned out pretty cool. The only thing is the background's very distracting. I would really like to go back and maybe redo some of these. I don't exactly love the background of these photos, so we'll see if we're going to go ahead and we want to keep any of those or not. Keep any of the background in those. A lot of these are just kind of fun. I did these for a friend. The light wasn't great, but I did the best I could with the situation I had. You can see here I used some of my LUTs that I've created. You can see they make a huge difference when it comes to the color. This is my Cinemagic LUT. I've also used my Blockbuster LUT. Here we go, my Summer Blockbuster LUT. If we turn that off, then turn it back on, it gives us that nice like Hollywood teal and kind of orangey look, kind of a cinematic feel, which I really enjoy. I've done that to a few of these photos. Like I said, I really enjoy how these images turned out. However, there was kind of this railing back here. It's like a cement railing, and then there was a pool over here. It's kind of like a balcony driveway overlooking Nashville, and I just didn't love how those turned out. So we can go ahead, we can take a look. Some more of these images. There's a couple different Porsches here, as you can see. So I'll probably stream for about 30 minutes, depending on if anybody, wants to show up or not. Back to Lightroom. Hopefully this lag isn't too terrible. I apologize, guys, for the lag. Again, feel free to drop any questions you may have. We may do a quick commercial break here just for a second, and wait for some more folks to drop into the live stream and just see if we have a couple more people that come in. All right. All right, well, hopefully I am still recording even though we are in a commercial break, or you may have just gotten back from the commercial break. All right, back to Lightroom here. Just got 100 things going on at once here. Just staying very busy. Again, I really like how these photos turned out. It's just these backgrounds back here. I may go into, maybe I go into Photoshop and try and remove this stuff. I'm okay with the sky being overexposed. I can do maybe some sort of a sky replacement. I'll have to do a little bit of thinking. Like, I like how this turned out. Really enjoy that one. What I was going to say, maybe I do a sky replacement. Maybe I replace this background and I put these cars in a cooler place. This one would even be easier. I wouldn't mind keeping the background. That's kind of a cool angle. Just get rid of these dead trees back here and maybe come up with something just a little bit different. Again, same here. I would really like to just edit this background out. That background is just super freaking boring. All right, it looks like we've caught up on the lag a little bit. There's a little bit less lag. Welcome to anybody who's hanging out in the live stream. Thank you guys for showing up. We're just hanging out, doing some editing in Lightroom, doing some live editing. And I may choose to pick one of these images and do a Photoshop composite. This one would be kind of neat. I'd have to do quite a bit of work back here through the windows. It could be done. This one would be easier. Let's see. Let's copy and paste the settings. Let's copy our develop settings. Sure. And paste them. I'll paste our settings here. There we go. This could be kind of a cool image to place in a different scene. I think that would be kind of neat. If you guys want to let me know what you might want to see, we can do all sorts of cool things in Photoshop. It's really just a matter of kind of what our aim is, what the goal is. Yeah, I would probably do an entire sky replacement on these images just because the car looks really cool. However, sorry about that. It's been a long day. The car looks really cool. However, the sky, the background is boring. I wish I could reshoot these photos. I don't know if that will happen. Let's paste the settings. Yeah, I don't love that. Yeah, this would be another... No, that might not be so difficult to edit. Try and put this in like a village or somewhere kind of cool. Not a half bad photo. We can do that. I can just kind of start editing away if you guys want to just see something, or we can kind of just get cruising on an edit. It looks like most folks have left the chat or the live stream. That's okay. I'll keep going for a little bit. Like I said, I'll probably live stream until 8:30ish. And just to test for the fun of it to see who would show up, if anybody would show up. I have not been publishing as frequently as usual. Actually bring myself back here and then talk to you guys a little bit about the channel and the fact that I have not been publishing as often. As you know, may know or may not know, I've had this channel for years. It's been since the end of 2016 I've had this channel, and I used to publish weekly probably for 4 or 5 years, and then got a little bit burnt out because, you know, this isn't even technically a part-time job for me. YouTube is just kind of a little side project that I do. Tighten up on this camera a little bit. Get our focus. We're actually streaming with a Nikon Z6 right now. This is super cool. And like I said, I have my Lume Cube little light over here. But I'll kind of get back to the history of the channel. If you guys don't know, this channel, I founded it in 2016. I guess I gotta stay on camera here. Founded Run and Gun in 2016 just to do a channel about photography tips and tricks. I was tired of these long-winded videos that were coming out, that everybody was doing 10, 20, 30-minute long photography videos, and then you get to the end of the video and you realize I haven't actually learned anything. So I was getting very tired of that personally. So what I decided to do is create an entire channel just based on photography tips and tricks. Sorry if I'm just getting focus here, looking at the camera and not my OBS player, my screen. But I decided to do a whole channel based on photography tips and tricks. And YouTube has never been a huge fan of that because my videos are shorter. So I don't get as much watch time, and YouTube does not like to promote videos that are not getting as much watch time. So even if I'm jam-packing my videos full of information, YouTube doesn't always like to promote the videos on the homepage and things like that, show them to my subscribers, because I'm not necessarily getting that super long watch time that YouTube likes. So I've done some longer videos here and there. I've done a whole bunch of Lightroom videos, Lightroom tutorials, everything you could possibly want to know about Lightroom, I have pretty much done from ground zero, everything you could ever want to know a lot about Lightroom. But then doing that I did an entire free 30 days of Lightroom masterclass, got hundreds of views, got thousands of views actually. And I'd actually gotten a little bit burnt out after doing that. I dropped 30 videos in 30 consecutive days, and producing a video every day for 30 days is a heck of a challenge. And that really didn't get the return necessarily that I wanted. It didn't get as many views as I wanted, and it just kind of went dead in the water a little bit, as I like to say. Make some little camera adjustments here. This is really fun. As I said before, as I'm telling the story, I'm live streaming on the Nikon Z6 right now via a USB-C cable. Going into my iMac, I have my little podcast mic here sitting on my desk, and I really enjoy this setup, and I hope that you guys kind of like how this looks, and hopefully it sounds good enough that we can do this more often. Again, if you guys enjoy this, I am happy to do live streams more often. It's fairly easy for me to do live streams, set up a cool little light, set up some neat lighting over here in the background, set up my Z6. We're hot, we're ready to go, ready to live stream. And I just really think this setup is cool, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Whew, okay. Didn't want you guys to have to listen to me chugging water. I actually went for a run, did a little bit of a workout, ran 1.5 miles before I started the live stream. So that's why we got started a little bit late here. I went for a little bit of a jog. But yeah, we will keep streaming here for a little bit, probably another 10 minutes. If I get some folks asking some questions, that would be awesome. As of right now, I don't see any questions popping into the chat, so that is fine. Again, this is just a little January test. I am more so testing out my Z6 as a live stream camera, which I think is pretty awesome. Focus to the back, I can focus here, I can get real close and focus. I'm actually kind of curious how that quality is. We can get really cinematic with this live stream here. Do some close-ups. Get some nice bokeh in the background. All right, folks, this is actually really kind of cool. This feels quite cinematic for a live stream. We've got that nice shallow depth of field, sharp focus, decent looking skin tones. And then give the close-up on the eyes. Yeah, this is actually really cool and a lot of fun for live streaming. So thank you guys for bearing with me as we're just having fun here. For those of you that are just kind of popping in right now and just seeing me get close-ups on my eyes, we're just kind of testing the camera here for the live stream. Just having some fun. There is no agenda today. There's nothing that we need to do. Nothing necessarily that I need to teach. I am just kind of streaming here, having a little bit of fun, getting my focus again. There we go. We have focus again. So we're just kind of hanging out, testing things, and doing more so of a test live stream than anything, but I can stay on here as long as you guys are interested, and we can hop back into Adobe Lightroom if you guys are bored of looking at me. So let's go ahead. Let's go. I'll move our picture over here, and let's go ahead. Let's pop right back into Adobe Lightroom, looking at some photos. And again, let me know in the live chat if you guys want to see something specific edited. We can go ahead, we can do some pretty cool things. So right now, what I'm looking at, again, these backgrounds of these vehicles that we have here, maybe we go ahead. Let's see if we have some other. Ooh, this is kind of a pretty fall colors photo shoot. These are edited already. Let's see, what other images do we have here that we could edit? Nashville Speedway. Oh, these were some pretty, I guess we're on a stream of car photography here. These were some kind of cool images that I really enjoyed. Oh, we have a DeLorean here. Some of these, I will admit, are some terribly edited photos. We can go in and maybe fix some of these. This looks like we have an old Camaro here. That's pretty cool looking. Porsche looks like GT3 potentially, GTR. Got a close up here of this Lamborghini badge. I think it's pretty cool how you can see the close up of the fleck, and you can see the little, actually some tarnish spots on the Lamborghini badge. Did some heavy color grading on this one, kind of went for a black and white. We saw some different color Lamborghinis here. Yeah, somehow this kind of just turned into a car live stream, a car editing live stream, which if you guys are okay with, hey, that actually matches the lights that I got going on in the background pretty well. It looks kind of cool. Maybe we can kind of mess around with some car photos. I went a little overboard with this one and turned it kind of red. One of my favorite cars is a Lamborghini Diablo. And I would love that in red. So I actually turned the purple of this one to red. There's a couple different Lambos there. There was gray ones, there was black ones, there was white ones. And that purple one that I kind of pushed the colors on a little bit. Here's a black one that was there. I think this was the Hurricane, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, this was kind of black. Again, not a great photo. I have such a hard time at car meets because you have people's toes that you're trying to get out of the photo. You have their reflection here. And I'm not one to sit around and, massively edit photos and, be editing folks out of photos. I just hate doing that. If I could just have a clean background, that would be fantastic. Here's a blue Lambo. I don't remember this one, to be honest. I do really like that blue color, though. That's very pretty. That looks awesome. Just playing around here. I love how this turned out. Again, the reflections in the carbon fiber here, not a huge fan of. There we go. It looks a little bit better when you can see some of this carbon fiber. That's a little better. Add some pop to the image. Something like that actually looks pretty good. And then there was this Porsche here that I absolutely loved. I love the lights on these. The headlights on these just look like little eyes that are popping out at you. Absolutely love Porsches. One of my favorite vehicles. This was a nice bright orange Porsche that I loved. And here was one. It was all by itself in this parking lot of the Speedway GT3 RS here. And you can see there are some little reflections, but they're not distracting at all. And when you juxtapose this really nice car with this kind of gritty, grungy, rough, very smooth, very rough, very shiny versus very dull, and very bright, saturated versus very bland and neutral, you get this kind of cool juxtaposition between something really awesome and something kind of gritty and grungy and boring. So get some kind of cool photos. This one I did some edits on. There's the before and after, some masking, lots of masking on that one. Let's see the before and after of this one. Before, after. These were definitely a little bit cool. Before and after. This was one I believe I did some masking on. Definitely did some masking on this one. There we go, to make that car pop. And I probably did, yep, I did some masking by hand with this one as well. So it'll show me my masks here. There we go. And so I masked my subject and then let the background kind of darken out a little bit, brought out the subject here with my exposure. And that, excuse me, that is the power of masks in Lightroom. And y'all, if you got any questions in the chat, do another welcome to the stream, everyone. Let's see. Feel free to ask any questions. There we go. So sometimes my chats will show up, sometimes they won't. But right now we're just kind of messing with these car photos, seeing what we can come up with here. Actually zoom out on myself here a little bit. Make sure I'm in focus. There we go. Good enough. And then we'll get back to editing some of these car photos. Or just taking a look at car photos, and maybe I will break into a specific edit if you guys want to see something. Now that is a really pretty Mustang. 65, I believe, and a candy apple red, just a pretty car. This is one that I could actually do a lot with. We have this natural grass background. This reflection is kind of grassy. This almost looks like a fountain or something here. I could turn the rest of this behind the car into like a grassy field or something. And you wouldn't even know it was sitting in the middle of a parking lot. Which I actually may end up doing. Let's find a good car that we think looks cool. This would be a kind of neat one. We can edit out the background of this maybe. There's a cool Camaro here that we can do some editing on. Again, I apologize for the delay in the live stream, so it'll take me a second for me to see any questions that you may have and to reply to them, and then for you to see the answer in the live stream. But it looks like we're actually cruising here. Sometimes it lags just a touch. But there was this really pretty orange Camaro that I absolutely loved. And then compared to this VW bus, I think looked really awesome. And then we have another Camaro. What was this? Was this the McLaren? Yes, it was. This was the McLaren. I don't believe I got a good shot of that McLaren at all. Let's see, what do we have that we could edit and make look really cool? Actually, this Camaro right here could look really cool. Let's go ahead, pump up the colors in this, turn down the exposure a touch, trying to figure out. There we go. And I think what we're gonna do, it's hard to get the white balance on this correct. It just feels very off. I think we're gonna cut this out in Photoshop and see if we can do something cool with maybe some generative AI or something. This actually looks, yeah, this one looks kind of mean. I like that. Trying to find a balance here. Oh, his grill looks a little bit crooked. Now it looks like this headlight cover here might be a little bit crooked. Yeah, let's go ahead. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to open this up in Adobe Photoshop. Edit in Photoshop. And then when that loads here in Photoshop, I will let you guys know. It's going to take a second here to load. So I will just kind of let that load here in Photoshop. Okay, we are open in Photoshop. Now the fun part is I have to figure out how to get Photoshop to show up for you guys. This is always fun Let's see, Adobe Photoshop. Okay. And I think, there we go. All right, awesome. All right, so you guys can see what I'm doing in Photoshop now. This is actually kind of cool. All right, so we are here in Photoshop, and I'm going to go through and let's just play with a couple things here. I'm going to take the background. I'm going to duplicate my background here. I will lock one of these. Hopefully you guys can see here what I'm doing in Photoshop. It doesn't look like you can see my layers, unfortunately. Let's see. Huh. I don't think. Oh, I have to scale down my window. Interesting. All right, folks, give me just a second here. Apparently, I had to scale my window down so you guys can see my entire window. This is interesting. I'm still learning this OBS software. All right, so learning this OBS software, I think I have it set up so that now you can see my Adobe Photoshop. You should be able to see my layers. Okay, let's transition back over to Photoshop, and I think now y'all should be able to see. There we go. Okay, now you guys should be able to see my layers. I'm okay if you can't see my tools. I just like that you can see my layers because I think that's a huge part of what we do here. And maybe I can even move my screen over. Let's see. Maybe I can make this work. All right, I'm working on this, guys. Move my Photoshop screen a little bit. And you should be able to see my tools here in just a second. Oh, it's going to be all sorts of difficult for me. Okay, hold on. I am just fighting the resolution in this OBS player to try and get this to fit to the screen. I think that's the best. There we go. That's the best I think I can do. It is just going to fight with me here. So we are here in Photoshop. We've made some extra layers. Let's close down. I accidentally hit a couple things. Oh, we have our adjustment layers. We have our layer down below. We just made a copy of. And then let's see, select subject. Let's see what our selection does. That does an okay job. I think I may go through and do some hand selecting. So if you guys want to hang out with me for a minute here while I go through and I add to the selection, I'll just go through here and manually add to our subject here because our AI selection didn't get quite there. And then I'll do some feathering, some smoothing, and some other cool tricks here. Whoops. To make this look nice and pretty and smooth. But we're going to try and get a nice clean selection here on this Camaro. And we'll see if we can maybe add this to some other type of environment. But right now, just getting a rough selection as close as we can get it will do us well. And then we'll get rid of, where's the Alt key? Get rid of some of these shenanigans that made their way into the background here. Oh, the hard part about this is the reflection angle here has made this roof just pure white and just very difficult to select. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead. Oh, I gotta get some of this down here. Oh no, I just lost my mask. Uh-oh. Come back. Control Z. Command Z. There we go. Whew. Just lost all that work. It's always a little bit scary when you're working on these masks. It's so easy just to lose everything that you've been working on. It just happens out of nowhere sometimes. Again, I will check occasionally into the group chat here that we have for the live stream just to see if you guys have any questions or have any topics you want to cover in the live stream. If we get to something specific, great. If we don't, that is cool too. Again, we have no real topics that we have to hit while we're here. I am just here to do some editing, have some fun, and more than anything, this is just kind of a cool test to see what we can do live streaming with a mirrorless camera, our Nikon Z6. Live streaming straight out of that camera is pretty darn cool, I think. Let me know if you guys agree with that. All right, get nice and close in there. That selection is looking pretty darn good. Kind of smooth this out here a little bit. All right, we did a good job under here. Make sure we get all of our tire down here. Again, I will smooth all of this selection out here shortly. I just want to make sure getting this feathered edge here. Selections are no joke. When you guys see ads for things that say they can cleanly remove the background, always be very cautious because this is a lot of work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to duplicate this layer. There we go. So now we can see, oh, we have our car there, and what I messed up, you can see I messed up just a touch here. I got this bit. Ooh, and I lost some of the roof, which I needed. All right, I screwed that up royally. Let's go ahead and let's fix that. See if we can get our selection back here. Just hit Command Z a lot. There we go, back to our selection. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the shenanigans up here that popped up on the roof. Get rid of those and see if we can fix some of this selection here. Oh, I screwed that up a little bit. Accidentally deselected instead of selecting. Now we're going to get into this top of the car here. Try and clean this line up a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, I think I have a decent selection. Hit Command J. And now we have our car selected. I can go in, I can do a little more tweaking and clean up here. Again, y'all ask me any questions you want to. I'll chug some water here. Might take a quick intermission here just for a little bit. And get back to our live stream. Kind of going for an hour here, which is pretty cool. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to save this. This will be, let's call it our safety. So this we're going to keep here. And what we're going to do, so we have our car selected. We're going to throw this down here. Just lock it up. We know that's our selection. I'm okay with that. And then what I'm going to do, use this selection and then invert that selection. And let's do let's do a generative fill. However, I'm going to work on this in sections. So let's get rid of the cement. We'll get rid of all of this at the bottom. Let's just work on the sky for right now. So let's just do a generative fill. Generate. Let's just see what it comes up with. And then once we have kind of a general brainstorm of what we want in the background of this car, I mean, heck, that's already better. Okay, I like that. I like the trees. Let's do, how about a city? What about a city skyline? So instead of sitting here in a parking lot with trees, the trees are a good second option. I really like how those look because you can see trees back here. Okay, this skyline is pretty cool. Okay, that's actually looking pretty badass. And you know what? I am actually getting some more ideas. City skyline. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. I have some ideas. So let's do... we got some funkiness happening over here. Let's go back to that. Hold on a second. What does this button do? Oh, we're enhancing the detail. I did not know that was a thing. That's kind of cool. Did I not select a mirror on the side? You gotta be kidding me. Hold on. Does this car have a mirror? Uh-oh. Okay, let's see what this enhanced detail does. This is kind of cool. We're going to enhance our detail here. See what's happening with this. Let's see if we get something cool out of this. I don't know what this does, so you guys are kind of finding out with me. And I should probably clear out that back window. That might be kind of screwing with our results a little bit. But for Instagram or something simple like that, this is really cool. Get rid of the whole background and do some kind of funky stuff. I'm going to close out Lightroom, I think. Yeah, cancel, close Lightroom. That's fine. All right, come on, Photoshop. We got things to do. As you can see, Photoshop's a little slow and clunky with this AI stuff, and I don't think that helped at all, to be honest. Maybe I am just a rude guy. I'm okay with it, but I think, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It does the job. However, no, there was no mirror. Okay, interesting. That car did not have a passenger side mirror. I do not like this funkiness that's happening over on this mirror. That's what I don't love about AI sometimes, and I think I would have to come over, put this layer of the car on top again, or do some erasing, because there's some funkiness happening. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete that, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean out these windows here. We'll do a rough selection here. I guess I actually didn't smooth and feather like I was supposed to. However, I'm going to have to do some smoothing and feathering here because this is a little bit out of focus, so we can't have this selection being super sharp. That will just look a little funky. But again, we're just doing this fast because this is a quick test. If it looks good, awesome. If it looks terrible, we don't have to fret over it. Go over the steering wheel here. All right. What else? Okay, that window we need to get underneath this window. Good enough. And then lastly, we will hit this window here. And then now, I brought up, we're going to smooth and feather. So let's go select, modify, smooth, 25 pixels. Ooh, a little bit much. Select, modify, smooth. Let's do 5 pixels. Better. Select, modify, feather. 15 pixels. Okay. And then I guess we have to unlock it. Let's hit backspace. Did that work? Ooh, that was a little bit much. A little much. Okay, let's go. Filter, select, sorry, modify, contract by 5 pixels. Okay. You know what? I think we feathered it a little too much. Yeah, I'm going to have to go back a little bit to right before I feathered it, I think. Yeah, we're going to feather this like 5 pixels, I think. So filters, select. Let's get filter and select mixed up. Feathered 15. Let's feather 5 pixels. Oh, that's much better. Much, 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 much better. Okay. Okay, here we go. We have a decent selection here. Again, if you guys have anything to say in the live chat, just let me know. I am just kind of messing with some car photos right now, so we're going to go ahead and let's select our vehicle. Let's see, let us deselect. And we'll keep this grass. I'm okay keeping the grass. We'll go ahead. We will deselect that portion. Oh, actually, we were supposed to invert our selection and then deselect the ground. I'm going to keep some of this grass as well. And then we'll keep that grass. Okay with that. All right, so now let's do a generative fill. Let's see what we can come up with. How about a city park? Let's see how that turns out. And I think we'll maybe live stream for another 5-10 minutes. That's not too shabby. Hey, that is not too ooh, even better. I like those buildings in the background. I am okay with that. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Let's go ahead. Here we go. And here's the second step to this, which I was going to show you guys. Here's what I want to do. So we have our city park. We just got rid of all this junk in the background. So there is the park. And what I want to do, which I think is going to make this really cool looking. This is currently, what is that aspect ratio of this? 2:3, I believe, or 3:2. Let's go ahead. Let's make this 16:9. So what's going to have to happen is we're going to need some pixels on the side. There we go. And I think hopefully you guys are kind of following along. Hopefully you're following along with my thought process here. So now what I want to do is I'm going to select the bottom here. We're going to add just some cement. Let's see if AI can do that by itself without me having to tell it what to do. Hopefully we can just fill in this bottom here with a little bit of the cement. Okay, happy with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and probably do this section right here. Let's just do a generative fill, see what happens. Just sip my coffee and wait. Okay, I like that. And what I'm doing is I'm working in little sections or chunks here because there is limits to the AI generative fill resolution. So if I work in little bits or little sections, I seem to get better results than trying to have it generate huge chunks of things. So there we go. If I can do this, actually, I have more options here. That's better. The exposure was looking a little bit funky back there. It could be like a cloud. Actually, I like that one. It looks like there's a cloud back here. But like I said, I like working in these little sections. There is limits to the resolution. And then if something goes crazy, I can just work in little sections and decide if, this one section works better. So here, I can probably get this whole chunk right here. Let's try that. Generate. Hopefully it'll give me some trees with some bokeh back there. Looks like I'm shooting with like a 50 millimeter lens. That's not too shabby. That's nice. That's nice. Oh, okay, that's fine. I can crop that out. Let's do a little square right here. Generate. I'm sure I'm burning through a ton of these generative fill credits, but that is okay because we are learning stuff. Let's go back to Photoshop. That looks okay. That looks better. That tree trunk is actually a little distracting. However, if there's no tree trunk, well, that's even more distracting. Let's keep the tree trunk. Let's try and fill this section and see what we can come up with here. We're really close. Because to me, this looks very believable. Good. Better. Okay, I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all of these. I will merge that. There we go. So now we have a city park and we have our vehicle. And I think I'm going to go ahead, select this. I just want this section. I want a generative fill in here. Let's see. Let's see how I can do this. If I bring this layer, oh, that might be the way to fix. Okay, here we go. And let's generative fill here. I just want this section right there without screwing anything up. Let's see if we can just generative fill. Yeah, let's see what it gives me. Maybe it'll understand that this is the back window. Oh, it's getting a little weird on me. Yeah, no, we're getting weird. No, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. That's okay. This actually looks all right with me. But look at everything. Generative filled pretty much this whole thing, and I could probably go in and generative fill a car. However, I think this looks pretty darn cool, and I'm really happy with that. And now what I can do is we can get our crop just right. Maybe I'll take a touch off the side, or I could even generate a little more on this side if I wanted to. There we go. Here we go. So now let's do some little pieces again. Let's do a generative fill here just to get this little bit of sky and trees and things. Just this little strip up here. This shouldn't be too difficult for the AI to handle. That looks good. See if we can get this section. Go ahead and generate. And this asphalt should be easy. So should this little section of the park over here. Let's see what looks best. That looks pretty good. This is just so simple. to create my own environment, basically. That looks good. Oh, that looks good. Okay. We'll get this section here. Generate, and then we will probably do this in 2 different sections at the bottom. Again, I think I may be, getting charged for extra generations, AI generations, but that's fine. This is a nice, fun edit. I'm learning a lot as I go. Generative fill here. This is something, to be honest, I probably could have just clone stamped or done some of my healing tool. That looks fine. That looks good. That's great. We'll fill in this last section. And then that will pretty much be it for this photo. I think I mentioned this. This is really bothering me right here. I may go in. Actually, I liked, the ground being just a little bit uneven there. I think looked great. Let's merge all of these together. And I think that looks pretty kick-ass. Again, we generated a lot of cool stuff. Let's go ahead and merge that background. And here is the original image we have. Generated a really cool looking background. This back window is a little bit funky. I'm okay with that. And then get our windshield wipers and everything looking correct right there. And I am pretty darn happy with the way that turned out. I think that's super cool that we just made an entire background. And we picked up this Camaro out of Lightroom and we just put it in a completely different environment. And I think that is so freaking cool. So I think that might be pretty good for the live stream. Again, unless you guys, I see we have, 3 people watching now. If you guys have any questions, let me know. We may wrap up this live stream. The only thing I might do is fix this grill because this light is uneven here, and that's kind of driving me nuts a little bit. So I may go ahead and go into the selection. And we've selected. I'll smooth this a little bit. Modify. Feather, 5 pixels, sure. We will duplicate. And then let's see if we can easily edit, transform, flip over horizontal. Let's see if we can just go ahead and drop that in here without anybody noticing. How about that? So instead of being crooked, nobody will ever know. How does that look? How about that? So we got our crooked little headlight thing. We just fixed that. And nobody has to know. It looks like this side may be a touch darker. That's okay. Just a tiny bit darker. All right. I am super pumped with what we came up with. We just fixed this little headlight. We added this selected car here. We added the entire background. This was our original photo. We cut the car out. Here you go. We can see the car that we cut out, and then we generatively added the background. We kept this little bit down here, and then again fixed that little headlight cover. So again, I'm happy with how that turned out. I think that was pretty cool. I'm going to wrap up the live stream here, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. For the folks that did hang out here, I really appreciate it. I think that was fun. I really want to do some more of these edit live streams. I think they're really fun. Hopefully the quality on YouTube is okay. Again, I'm streaming 4K 24 frames per second out of my Z6. It looks like I'm getting a solid 24 or 23.98 24 frames per second. And hopefully the quality is okay once it makes it to YouTube. I know there's a whole bunch of compression and things that have to happen. So hopefully the quality is good there. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you hanging out with me in this live stream. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe. I really want to do more of these live streams. I definitely need to plan them out a little bit better. So I will take all the blame for this one being a little bit of a dud and not having a ton of engagement. That is completely my fault. So thank you guys. Do a nice tight close up here. All cinematic like, rack focus to the mic. I'm sorry, this is just so much fun. Live streaming. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how far we have come in like the last like 6 years from I used to use my crummy webcam in my laptop, and now I'm streaming with a 4K mirrorless camera, and we have shallow depth of field. I have nice lighting here with my Loom Cube, and I really am pumped up to do more of these live streams. So thank you to everyone who decided to stop by. I appreciate you guys. Again, I'm just like a kid in a candy store playing with my live stream stuff. So I appreciate you guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my one-on-one coaching. I am doing one-on-one photography coaching. I'm still working out the details with that. I'm trying to give you guys some options, but a lot of people have asked me if I do any sort of one-on-one tutoring, mentoring, coaching, and I absolutely do. And I've done it a few times in the past. I've really enjoyed it. I learn things when I teach. And I think it's a lot of fun to help individuals with their personal challenges when it comes to photography, because when I make videos, it doesn't always necessarily answer everyone's questions that they have, as you may know. And sometimes it can be really difficult to find very specific questions and a hands-on learning approach on YouTube or any social media for that matter. So what I want to do is I want to figure out a better way to solve some of your guys' problems. So again, getting back into that one-on-one coaching, and we're going to do quite a bit of that here this coming year in 2025. That's my goal, is to do a lot of coaching sessions. And that is really about it. Again, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging out for like the last hour. This was a fun little test, and we may keep this up. We may delete this after the stream, but I appreciate everyone that hung out. So I will get back to my thumbnail here. My nice winter thumbnail. I'm kind of going in a different direction this year with thumbnails, and I think they're kind of fun. So appreciate you guys for hanging out in this live stream. Thank you guys so much. And until next time, get out and go shoot.